In this video, I will teach you how to set up a program in Scratch that will allow students to enter a mixed number, and the program will transfer it to an improper fraction, or vice versa. The student can type in an improper fraction, and it will translate to a mixed number. This program can be used in the math classroom as students are practicing fractions and manipulating them into different forms, as well as creating a 21st century relevant lesson as you use code in the math classroom. My name is Ashley Tavis. I'm one of the founders of csinmath.org, a site created to help educators implement code into their math classroom to help students better understand math skills. Let's get started. So right away you'll notice on my screen here, all I've done is imported different sprites. And when we import a different sprite, it's like a character in Scratch. You have the choice of choosing from Scratch's library. You can paint a sprite, which is what I did in these sprites that you see below. So if I were to come in here and click costumes, you can see I drew some of these or used text to create some of these. And you can upload things from online, and you can also take a picture of something that you want to use for your program. So all I've done here is I've created, let's see, a total of 6 different sprites. If we count these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the first thing we should really do in our program here is you'll notice over here these colorful tabs have different blocks underneath all of them. We need to come to the data block and hit make a variable. We need to create 5 different variables for this program. So I'm going to start by being very specific. Let's do our improper fraction numerator and our improper fraction denominator. And notice how these are appearing on the screen. If I uncheck these, they'll disappear. If they're checked, they're going to show up on our main screen. So I'm actually going to drag these over to my fraction. And if I double click this variable, it will change its form. So I'm going to just make it appear as a number here. And my numerator's on top, denominator's on the bottom. Perfect. Now we need our mixed number, the whole number, and I'm going to double click this and I will place this on the side. We need our mixed number numerator, and this will go on the top, and our mixed number denominator. Super, and this will go on the bottom, double click to change its format. Great. So now we've kind of got the main screen set up here. So for this next little bit of code, it doesn't really matter which sprite I place this under. I'll just choose to do these arrows. And all I'm going to do to start my program is reset all of my variables. If I use the set block, you'll notice I can choose all of these. And this is common to do at the start of a program because when you start your program, you want your values to be to not be using the values from the last time you ran your program. So we want these to be cleared. Typically, people will clear their values to 0. However, I am going to put question marks in here, and you'll see as we start our program why I choose to do the following. So if I hit my green flag, notice all of these appear as question marks because we need to type these values in based upon what the user gives us here. Great. So the next piece we need to go to is our mixed number. So if they choose this mixed number sprite, if they click on this box, that means they're going to type in their mixed number and our program is going to transfer it to an improper fraction. So the first block we need is when this sprite is clicked, and we need to take some input from them. We're going to ask them, what is the whole number? And notice whatever they type in, let's say they type in 3, is stored in this answer block. 3 is stored in here. But I want to set this to the variable, the mixed number whole number. I want to be this number. So if I click in here and I type in, now let's say 5, notice this value has now changed. Great. The next thing I want to know is, what is the numerator? And whatever they type in, we will store as the mixed number numerator, their answer to that variable. And we want to ask, what is the denominator? and we will store as well the mixed number denominator to their answer. So the first thing now is we transfer to our other form. So let's say our program ran and we had 3 and 5/6. How would we get our improper fraction? So to get the numerator of my improper fraction, I would first of all multiply the denominator by the whole number. 3 times 6 would give me 18. So just as we said, we take the mixed number whole number and we multiply it by the denominator. And then we would add onto this the numerator to get to the numerator of our improper fraction. Mixed number numerator. Oops, there we go. Be a little touchy sometimes. And our denominator, improper denominator, is just going to be the same as the denominator of our mixed number. Let's try this. So let's say, oops, let's start our program again. So I reset it. So 3 and 5/6, and we should get 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 does give us 23, 23/6. So perfect, this way works. Now we have to do the reverse. What if they click the improper fraction? We need our program to calculate the mixed number if we start with the improper fraction. So just as we started our last program, when this sprite is clicked, the first thing we want them to type in is, what is the numerator? Numerator. And we will store their answer to the improper. And if I duplicate this, sometimes it's a little quicker. What is, also helps me with my poor spelling, denominator. And we'll set the improper denominator to the answer. So our last one, we had, what did we have? 23/6. Good, so this stores here, now we need to work backwards. So the first thing we need to know is the whole number. The whole number, if we do 23 divided by 6, we know 6 goes into 23 without a decimal 3 times, but not quite 4. So we need this number 3. But if we do 23 divided by 6, we're going to get a number that's bigger than 3.5, which means it would round up to 4. So Scratch has a great feature here in operators. If we pull down to the bottom where it says square root, we can change this to, it is called the floor. What the floor does is it rounds down. Typically if you're over 5, as you have a decimal, it's going to round up, but this is always going to round down. So we want to round down when we're doing the operation of the improper numerator divided by the improper denominator. We want to round this value down, and we're going to set this mixed number whole number as this value. The next thing we want to know is the numerator. Once we divide this, let's say 3 goes in wholly, we want to know what's the remainder going to be. So 18 goes into 23. We know the remainder is going to be 5 more parts that need to go into 23. Here's a clear visual, and this is actually the student guide. It talks about the feature of mod. So 9 mod 4 equals 1. You can ask students, well, what do you see, what do you wonder? Well, 1 is 9 divided by 4 gives us 2, but the remainder is 1. So actually for this piece of our program, we're going to need to set our mixed number numerator. We're going to have to use mod here. We want the remainder after we take the improper numerator and we divide it by the denominator. In this case, the remainder is going to be 5, and that will be the numerator of our mixed number. And finally, we will set the denominator to the same denominator as our improper fraction. So let's run this. 23/6 gives us 3 and 5/6. This did work both ways. Again, if you come to csnmath.org and you enter into these lessons, you will find a complete teacher guide and a student guide, which is what I was referring to here. Best of luck.